I wanted to talk to you a moment about how to have crucial conflict-free conversations and why this is so important at this particular point in time in our nation. I normally don't speak out on political issues and I don't take sides in political issues. But as I was preparing a class today called Crucial Conflict-Free Conversations, it struck me that what our nation is missing right now is the ability to hold crucial conversations. Now, if you want to learn more about this topic, I highly recommend the book called Crucial Conversations. I've learned so much about it for myself. But people who have the skill and ability to have crucial conversations can 100% say what's on their heart with 100% respect to the other people while working to achieve a mutual purpose. Now, that doesn't sound like what's happening in our nation right now on many, many different levels. So what happens when we don't have the skill to hold crucial conversations is we avoid them, we handle them poorly, causing more conflict, and one of the solutions to these problems is learning how to have the skill of holding crucial conversations. In crucial conversations, it's important that we begin asking, what do we really want? Now, here's 4 options that show the motive of what we really, really want. So one option is, and I'm sorry, I'm scrolling through my notes here because I wanted to make sure and get across succinctly what I wanted to say today. But there's 4 different options that we have, and you're going to be able to draw your own conclusions from these options. Option number 1 is winning. If my motive is to win, that means my motive is to prove I'm right. And I'm going to prove that I'm right at the expense of everyone else. So I'm going to pick a fight. I am going to fight and prove that I'm right. My perspective is right. And I have made that perspective so much my identity about who I am that if somebody disagrees with that, it feels like they are attacking me as a human being instead of me as an idea or a way of doing things. Okay, so the second option is punishing. When our motive in a conversation is to punish people who don't agree with us, then we want harm for them. Now, this can be harm in not seeing what that other person or group of people might be harmed by vehemently opposing what the other people want. And I'm opposing it just because I know that you want it, and therefore I'm going to oppose it and be an obstacle to it. So it can be harm in that way, or it can escalate to actual harm and violence. Now, the third option is we want to keep the peace. And there's just as many people out there right now trying to keep the peace because they're being silent and they're not being part of the conversation, and they're also not being part of the solution. When you're silent, your voice is not heard, and what you have to contribute is not heard. Now, again, I remind you that being heard is about being able to say what you need to say with 100% respect to the people that you're saying it to. When you no longer respect the people that you're saying it to, when people feel disrespected, it feels like their dignity is being attacked, and that it immediately puts them in a defensive mode where they feel like they have to fight back. It's a natural human response to being attacked, is to feel like you have to fight back. So Silence. So let's go back to the third thing, was silence. And when you're choosing to stay silent because you're afraid that your viewpoint might ruffle other people's feathers, then I encourage you to pick up the book Crucial Conversations and read it and learn how to express your thoughts and what you want to see and what you desire in a way that brings people in, to invites people into conversations about mutual purpose. And that is the fourth option, is we truly want a shared outcome that's best for all. Now, when you look at all of the things that have happened throughout our world in 2020 and already starting in 2021, there is very little consideration about what's the shared best outcome for all. Or everybody has a different opinion. They're fighting for what their perspective of a best outcome is. And you can even take this down into relationship difficulties. It's being played out on the national stage, and it's being played out behind closed doors in relationship difficulties. So what I'm here to ask you to do is to truly examine your motives before you jump into those conversations again. Examine your motives. I'm asking you to do that. What do I really want for myself? What do I really want for others? What do I really want for these relationships? You can ask that to yourself. What do I really want for my relationships inside my home? What do I really want for my relationships as groups of people, individual groups of people participating in national issues? And how would I behave if I really wanted these results? So we have to find the and in there. We have to get rid of our fixed mindset that it has to be my way or their way. And we have to find the and. We have to search for, how can I have a candid conversation about this difficult topic and express what I need to be, and find a mutual solution and an outcome. Because when people are retreating to silence or violence, we're not moving ahead with mutual purpose. And we have to really begin looking at the macro level on what don't we want and what do we really, really want, and finding that shared purpose to move forward. And when we have enough people who are more committed to finding solutions, who are committed to learning the skills to have these crucial conversations, then we're going to begin to see things shift in different ways. We'll see things shift within our own relationships in our home. We'll see things shift on a national level. But as long as we remain in silence or violence and accusing and blaming and pointing fingers, now I'm not saying that doesn't mean when things are legitimately done wrong, they need to be held accountable. I'm saying when people legitimately do things that harm the people around them and the people that they lead, they need to be held accountable for that 100%. But as a nation, we have to look at how can we begin having these conversations that solve the problems. Because the problem isn't solved by one party being elected or one party not being elected, because we're still a divided nation, no matter how that looks. But where we can make progress forward is by looking for mutual shared purpose, and by you and I learning to hold those crucial conversations that actually move things forward. It's not about somebody in Washington that needs to do that, or somebody who's a leader of a group that needs to do that. It's you, if you're watching this, and me sitting here talking about this. We're the ones who need to learn to have these crucial conversations and search for the mutual purpose. And when that becomes more important to us than silence or violence, when we get back to those true issues, then we'll actually see some change and progress forward. So thanks for being along today. I appreciate it. And I encourage you, the two resources, Nonviolent Communication and Crucial Conversations, with great resources. Check them out.